Hello everyone, checking back in on just the big three today. So we had clear bear breaks, certainly wrong about the anticipated bullish break of the consolidation pattern, but my props to the crypto community here. Usually people love to come on and spitefully tell me how wrong I was, but that's not the case, so that was nice and refreshing. But one thing, if you're going to be a trader, it's very important to get very used to losing. You're going to lose a lot. I've lost thousands of times in my life. You just have to win more than you lose, and you have to have trade management that keeps your losers small and lets your winners ride. So for this personal trade, I stopped out at 270.20, that low down here, 27.20, and I used that level. You could have used 26.92, but I figured that if we broke 27.20, the odds of breaking that would increase substantially, and that was the level for me where if that broke, I would want to lock in my loss and exit to avoid the downfall that would occur, because this pattern was so tight and everybody in the cryptocurrency world was watching it. Once it did break, you knew that that downside move was going to be significant, as it kind of works as a snowball effect with everybody seeing that clear break. So to touch back on trade management, you want to always assume whenever I'm making a trade, you obviously have your game plan established with your entry level, your exit target, and your stop loss level. Every single time I enter a trade, I assume that I'm going to get stopped out. And that just allows me to calculate, okay, if I get stopped out, I will lose this much and my account will be this level. And then if you are fine accepting that, then you're good to go and you don't have anything to stress about and worry. And I was noticing that as we were seeing this pattern get tighter and tighter, every single time we came down and formed a higher low, there was so much fear. You can almost feel it, the fear and the anxiety and the angst and the tension from people that are just really, really worried. And this entire time, I did not feel 1 ounce of worry or fear or anything, because my game plan was established. I knew if 27.20 broke, I would exit the trade. I knew exactly how much I would lose, and I knew what I would be left with. So for this personal trade, the loss that I had was equivalent to the gain that I had in a 20-minute trade on LTC. That break of $45 that we captured just before it happened in the video, maybe 2-3 videos ago, that profit is what I lost here on this trade. So 20 minutes of profit gone on a trade that played out over a couple of days. I will absolutely take that loss every single time, step back, and even on the first oversold bounce, I regained 20% of that lost already. So already chipping back to recover those losses, and because I'm cash and agile and liquid, I am able to jump in on these oversold bounces. So where we stand right now, it is a clear bear break, and we are looking for, personally, I am only playing oversold bounces for quick gains, just quick flips. For Bitcoin, I would only be looking for, $50 flips, and for Ethereum, I'd be looking for $5 flips. And that's just to lock in the gains, get back to cash, and be safe, because we are in a downtrend. So here on Bitcoin, we have the all-out dump very clearly. A bullish reversal candlestick just formed. The next 4 hours, we just switched over here at noon. The next 4 hours is going to be very significant as to whether or not we can confirm this bullish reversal candlestick. So our new support right now is 25.16, and we have to see a break of 2600 to even have a chance at confirming this bullish reversal candlestick over the next 4 hours. So that's what we're currently watching. Daily time frame, let's see how it looks. Inside bars, very clear bear break. If you were going by inside bars, the bear break occurred at 27.26. And then the all-out dump. And the difference here, and there's the volume spike. You can see the volume dropping off tighter, tighter, tighter. Volume spike accompanied with the break. The difference here on the 4 hour time frame with Ethereum is we've broken the low of consolidation right here for Bitcoin. That level broke. Ethereum has not broken that level yet, and we'll look at that in just a moment. So as of right now, the hourly time frame, we got very oversold. Oversold bounce is currently underway, and you can see the volume climax, the highest 2 hourly candlesticks occurred right at the lows, and then the oversold bounce occurred when the RSI was right down around 20. So at this point, 5-minute RSI being oversold is not enough for me, because we're in a downtrend. I need at a bare minimum 5-minute and the 15-minute oversold, and to be even more comfortable, 5, 15, and hourly all being oversold makes me more comfortable that a short-term bounce is coming. So the bounce right here just occurred from 25.16, and we got up in just, under 2 hours later, up to 25.98. So that's an $81 move. And if you were in a trade from 2800 and exited on a break of 27.20, that oversold bounce, obviously you're not going to hit the exact low and the exact high, but that would have made back the entirety of that loss in one trade. So that's why I suggest keeping your stop loss level, getting back to cash, and being able to step back on the sidelines, reassess the situation, and then get back to your game plan and keep knocking out these profitable trades, hitting base hits to recover that loss. So it's not the end of the world. Losses happen all the time, and we need to completely shake them off. And again, that lack of fear, it's very hard for me to convey that to people. It really takes, admittedly, it takes a lot of experience and learning lessons. The good thing about a loss is you learn a lot more about a loss than you do on a win in terms of reviewing the trade. But just over time, you get numb to the losses because they happen so often. And as long as you're just not blowing up your account and letting them get away from you and you're keeping them small, it's no big deal. You just go on with your trading life and work to get them back. And you also don't want to force trying to get these trades, this profit back. You don't want to be trying to say, oh man, made this loss today, I need to get it back. It's a marathon. This is not a sprint. We're going to be trading this sector for the next couple of decades. That's a very long time. I've been trading cryptocurrencies now for about 4 months. I'm going to be trading it for the next couple of decades, and I'm well aware of that. So I am in absolutely no rush. Slow, steady gains. If I make back, those losses over the next week, perfectly fine by me. So where we stand right now, high of the bounce is 25.98. Again, bulls have to break that level to see continuation in order to see that 4-hour candlestick confirmed. But the red flag here is number one, the upper wicks of profit taking, and number two, the declining volume. This is showing the bulls tiring out and not seeing momentum and strength to the upside. So at this point, I am not in a trade, and I'm sitting still cash right now and watching to see if after this hourly oversold bounce, if we're going to head back down and eventually get these 4-hour oversold bounces. I really love these 4-hour oversold bounces. Last time we had one, we had those huge gains to the upside, not just in Bitcoin, but in Ethereum as well. And looking for another opportunity like that. So Ethereum checking back in. Here's the 4-hour time frame. Same thing, all out dump, increasing bear volume, bullish reversal inside bar trying to form. Have to confirm it. Unlikely that we will, in my opinion, but certainly a possibility. But the low of 186 is holding. So the low of consolidation is still support here where it is not on Bitcoin. Personally, on this downtrend, I am going to be trading Ethereum rather than Bitcoin because of the overhead sentiment with Bitcoin. And admittedly, when I was looking for that new all-time high, looking back at everything when I'm reviewing my trade and where, I could have missed something, I'm perfectly fine with my sentiment of bullish continuation with the way that the patterns were set up. We were coming off an extremely bullish move. We were on the verge of an all-time high. We only had a couple resistance levels, and the market breathed a big sigh of relief. So as far as technically speaking, I'm perfectly fine with my trade entry and my exit for a loss. There's nothing I really would have changed with that. What I would change is my understanding of the fundamentals, and that's an admitted lack of that was an admitted weakness with my trade because I was unaware of the whole Bitcoin Cash thing still going through. And now, these articles are coming out and people are still uncertain. They're saying, okay, well, some of these exchanges are going to lock up these transfers. I'd rather be cash. Or people are saying, am I going to get this cash with this fork? Or am I going to get this Bitcoin Cash? Am I going to end up with, twice as much? There's just so much uncertainty around what is going to occur August 1st still. So when we saw the breakout, it was pretty much the market saying, oh, good, we don't have to worry about August 1st anymore. And then, there were a few people saying, yes, we do still need to worry, but the market really wasn't caring as we were ripping towards all-time highs. And now the equilibrium pattern was setting in, and the articles started coming out, and more information started coming out, and then people, started to get a little bit uncertain again. And that little overhanging event of August 1st is still here now with a little bit of uncertainty, certainly not as much as it used to be, but it is still there, and that is... If I could go back in time and fix something about my trade, I would have factored that in a bit more. But even then, I would have given myself the opportunity to see a bull break of this pattern. Ideally, I would never have entered this trade because I love to enter a trade on a bullish break of a tightening equilibrium pattern because that ensures that you have the bull momentum at your back as you make the entry. But at the point of my entry, original entry, it was before this equilibrium pattern was very clear. It was on this bounce here, And once that equilibrium pattern started forming, I said, okay, I'm comfortable with where my position is at in this equilibrium pattern. I'm going to see if it's going to play out and obviously protect my position with a stop loss level. So in hindsight, a little bit of would have changed, but technically speaking, not a whole lot of would have changed. We had a nice little uptrend here that was an initial heads up of a bear break on this 4-hour time frame. And you can see we broke that level by trading sideways, started to slope down a little bit, and then the all-out dump occurred. So where we stand on Ethereum for the oversold bounce, again, I want to see 4-hour RSI levels get oversold. That would be really nice. And why I like Ethereum better than Bitcoin as well is because we have this support still. And if we were to drop down to this support level, the 4-hour RSI would be right at oversold right when we hit that 186 level. So you can tell just visually and estimation that the 4-hour RSI would drop down towards the oversold level if we did approach this 186 support. So that would be a nice target to be keeping an eye out for a potential longer term entry. And I say longer term because the 4-hour oversold bounces play out longer than the shorter term time frame bounces. So an inside bar just broke bearish on the hourly time frame, declining bull volume, not a convincing bounce. Double top here, 211 and 210.78. And the bears are still in control overall. So from here, it's going to be up to the bulls to form a higher low and then a higher high by breaking 211, which is entirely possible to happen. But I'm not comfortable enough. Again, the fact that it was such a clear break of a pattern that everybody was watching has me think that the bearish sentiment is strong enough that I'm going to be really quick with any entries, and I'm going to be picky. I'm going to be more picky on my bullish entries than I would be otherwise. So Litecoin, let's see how Litecoin is faring in all of this on the daily time frame. And again, that potential bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern that I drew in one of my other videos is still here. We do need to be very aware of this, and it's following through right now to be even potentially more likely over the past 2 days with this bearish dump now. So that key support is right around here at 38 psychological, and we're heading down towards that level. And if it breaks, it will be a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern on the daily time frame, as we will switch from our higher low, higher high to then lower highs and lower lows if that switch does follow through. So that's what we're looking at on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we had a tightening pattern. It wasn't as clear visually, but it was there, and there was a clear bear break with everybody else due to the correlation. So bullish reversal candlestick on the 4-hour time frame, trying to be confirmed, not seeing the follow through at this point, but we still have plenty of supports here as well. I'm looking at 39.68 and then down to that 38 psychological level. So those levels need to hold. Hourly time frame oversold bounce underway. We saw the RSI hit 20 on the hourly, and we bounced from 41.34 up to 42.74. That's a nice $1.40 bounce. Plenty of gains there, but again, the volume dropping off. So you can see these correlations are so strong that everything's doing the same thing on the hourly time frame. Declining bull volume, topping out 42.74, 73, 74, a little triple top on this bounce attempt. Bulls have to form a higher low and break that level for this bounce to continue playing out. But as of right now, like I said, due to the volume, due to other factors, I would be surprised if the bulls could pull off a higher low and a higher high on this hourly bounce attempt. So that's where we stand. All cash, being comfortable here in the space right now, jumping in and out on oversold bounces fairly quickly, and watching to see if we get an oversold 4-hour RSI attempt over the next couple of days, looking for a more longer-term bounce to end up playing out. Once August 1st rolls around and that gets behind us, I think the bulls will have a little bit more ease in terms of psychologically being able to see the price continue to go up and some bullish action, but not going to make any assumptions, going to watch the chart overall. I appreciate you watching. We'll continue to check back in. We had some really nice altcoin follow through, and if you saw the live video that I did Sunday night, you could see a lot of those setups were forming, and they were on the verge of breaking their downtrends on the longer term time frames, and we saw a lot of nice follow through to start this week. So I will try and do some more videos. Ideally, I'd like to do one altcoin video a weekend, but again, with working on this course and limited to working on weekends on this course, right now my plate is pretty full. So I appreciate you watching, and we'll check back in when we can. Have a good day.